Now, what do you think? Like, how does the objective mind overlook any kind of emotional or any other contextual nuance? I know we kind of discussed it right there, but what else do you think? How else can being objective overlook in the emotional experience of the context?
The point is, to me, they don't, it's not a relationship to what I would call the self. It's not a relationship to them. So they're just overlooking them for the objective, what they consider to be objective reality. There's no person at the base of what we're talking about here.
Right.
It's a person who is, it's an empty cognition. It's a car. It's a car with nobody at the driver's seat. So that's how I look at it. So I gave one of the examples earlier about, people just, status. Status is definitely one, and to me, you'll see this a lot in, people that you think are like highly successful people. Like even like the woman who won, and I can't say what their type is or anything, but like the woman that won like Miss Universe and then jumped off a roof, or, it's like they have all the things that, it's a lot of people who envy them, and they're like, oh, right. You have the stuff. You have all the stuff that everybody else wants. And then they're like, well, why is that person sad? They have all the stuff. And they they're not relating their life to the stuff. It's just the stuff. And it's like, well, you didn't get happiness from the stuff. It's like, well, we weren't trying to get the happiness from the stuff. We figured that the happiness would come with the stuff.
Right? Somebody said the stuff was valuable. I now have the valuable. I should feel all the things. And all my wishes should come true now. It said once I got the things everybody wanted, that I would have all the things that I needed. But apparently, anyway, I think that's when people expressed that level of confusion, that shows their level of development to me. I'm like, oh, you've not self-reflected. You've not spent some time thinking, what makes me happy? What's going to make me fulfilled in life? What does fulfillment even mean? If you don't have those answers, then I can see how you would get confused. And like, well, they chase the stuff. They have the stuff. They should be perfect now. I'm like, oh no, they're no longer striving to live anymore. They don't have to worry about their basic necessities, or they've gotten so much attention now. They don't have to always fear for their safety or their emotional safety. I'm like, but that's not the same thing as like chasing their own goal and achieving the goals that are going to make them happy and give them purpose. They don't have purpose. They have a little bit more safety than they used to. A little more psychological safety is not the same thing as memeing.
It's not. But then at the same time, right, because I'm looking at this and I'm thinking, this is a highly prevalent mentality. And I think the way that I'm thinking about it is I got to have a little bit of nuance, because extroversion in itself doesn't necessarily mean extreme extroversion.
Right. There's a continuum.
Yeah. But even in that, I think it's danger in it. But, to each their own. That's how I look at it.
Yeah. There's time and place for it. I need people just to keep it in its place. It's great when you have a time of receiving data or receiving, like when you're doing research, it's cool to know what the history is, what came before, what other mistakes people have made, what other successes other people have had. It's great to have that, but it's not good to stop there. I think it's a great starting point to get context, but then compare your context with your own data in actual comparison with a more objective standard to have clarity on the value or the relevance of the data. And I think that is that part goes overlooked sometimes.
Well, here's the struggle with that. And as we're talking about psychology and types, that is the extrovert struggle. Like self-reflection is something that they so consistently gloss over.
No.
It's not easy for them. It's not something that they want to do. It can give them anxiety.
Yeah, that's fair. There's that. Because it does that.
Yeah, because it's just like they're just so used to bypassing, their personal relationship with it. They just engage, shortcut. Just engage.
Yeah, and there's something to be said for speed. I mean, I appreciate shortcuts. It's wonderful when they work, but sometimes pitfalls exist. And when you follow them, it's like, could this have been avoided? Is that desirable? Like, is there some way to help mitigate risk? Is there some way to help put the brakes on at the appropriate times. Not all the time, but take a moment, maybe once a week. Sit back and be like, what am I doing? Am I getting closer to my goals? Do I have goals? Are those goals I chose? Should they be my goals?
See, that's the thing, right? That's interesting that you say it like that, because I think that I can think of extroverted people, definitely, who have goals, and they are very good about achieving those goals. But I don't know that those goals are their goal.
There you go.
They're going for the objective good. They're going for the collective good.